Hello folks, there's another opportunity for us here at CB Rebuilds to get some more help videos out there. Went and hopped in my Jeep and I got all these lights. So I got the ABS, the what is it, traction control, and the ESP BAS light are all on, and the seatbelt because I'm just sitting here in the garage. But I'm not gonna be able to drive the Jeep too much like this because I'd like to have the analog brakes work because I drive this for work as a daily driver. So I'm gonna have to work on fixing this. I think the first thing I'm gonna do is grab my code reader, get it hooked up, and we'll see if we can't read the codes. Okay, the code reader I have is a Top Don. It offers online updates, and it's not as good as those tablet ones that you see some of the guys use on YouTube, but it will allow you to reset some SRS and safety modules. So if they don't do an auto check, you can do a reset with them. So we're going to go through and run the OBD2 diagnosis here. Alright, we're going to read the codes. No fault codes. Okay. Okay, we're going to go up here and run the scan function. We got to tell it what kind of vehicle we've got. So I believe this Jeep is still going to fall underneath Chrysler because there's no Jeep in the list. So we'll scroll right back through and go to Chrysler. Diagnose, the one version that's on here. System scan, automatic. So we've got ABS and occupant restraint. What is that? Control. We'll look at that one real quick. We'll read the code, and it says no code. I think it just is on because I'm sitting here with my seatbelt off. So let's go back. We'll look at the code for the anti-lock brakes. Read trouble codes. So we've got C1015. Right front wheel speed sensor circuit is open or active. Well, you can try clearing the codes. I don't think that's probably going to work. But let's see here. We'll clear the code. Get a flashing brake light. It says it was clear code was successful, but I'm not seeing the lights go off on the Jeep. Maybe we need to reset it. I'll try to just turn the Jeep off, get the key out, and put it back in. And all the lights are still on. So I'm guessing whatever issue we've got, it kind of got narrowed down. At least it's the right front. So that's where we're going to go look and see if we can't figure out what's going on. Hang tight, we'll go out front and check it out. Alright, so I got the front tire off. I just saved you guys from having to watch that. But we'll give this ABS wire here a look over and see if we can't figure out if there's a problem. So it does route right across this steering knuckle here. That looks pretty good. And then I think I figured out the problem. It looks like the wire broke. Let me see if I can get you to come in here. So it looks like this wire right here is broke. It's corroded because, again, it's winter here in Ohio, so any water on copper is going to let it corrode, and that looks like that's the problem. So guess we need to get a new ABS wire. Probably could fix it, but I think if I shorten it up, then as the suspension fluxes, it might be too short and it might cause problems. and I don't imagine that the replacement parts are all that expensive. So let's see if we can't get one found and on order. Okay, folks. Well, it's been a couple of days. For me, for you, it'll be like nothing happened. But I got a replacement ABS sensor here for a Jeep. It's got the OEM part number with the update. So if it were an AA, it would have been original to the vehicle, but they made a couple of revisions. So we have an AC part number. Oh, there's the bolt that holds the sensor in. Did not lose that. So we got the bolt. Give you a new bolt, and we got the sensor here. Sensor in the wire. It appears it's about the right length, but there's not really a good way to check this all out till you get it all laid out. And to get it even put in, we need to get this brake caliper bracket off, get the rotor out of the way, and then I think you can get right to the sensor to take the sensor out. Hopefully it comes right out. That would be terrible if it didn't. See, I got pretty lucky. Just taking a flat little pry bar here and prying between the brake dust shield and the sensor, I got it to rotate, so it's probably not frozen too bad. I'll just grab the sensor with a pair of pliers and just try to wiggle it out gently. The sensor is kind of long, I just don't want it to break off inside there. The only reason I'm working to fight through it right now is because I got to put the new one in. I got to figure out how to do it. So I could have just cut the wire, but it looks like if I kind of twist it like this and put it in and then give it a rotation, I can pull the slack back. We might be able to make it work. I'm hoping you could change this without taking the dust shield and the knuckle all apart. That would just be crazy if you do all that work just to get the sensor out. I would imagine these sensors are kind of prone to failing. All right, so we got that one out. Always gotta get the new one kind of fed through. Doesn't hurt to do a little comparison of the sensors. They look like they're the same to me. So I'll get it fed through. You really want to make sure you watch the routing here, how you put it through, or where the old one was, so that you can get it to line up. The sensor in, hopefully I didn't damage it too much. We'll take the chance that I didn't. See that the old bolt came out, it had some Loctite on it, so I'll put some Loctite on the new one as well. Now we'll start running these through the clips. Get these rubber guys clip back in. I think we've actually got it together enough that we can put the caliper bracket back on, so we don't have to worry about that being in the way while we work on getting the rest of this taken care of. So I think we're going to do that. Put a little bit of Loctite on this bolt. There was none on it earlier, but after watching enough videos on YouTube of people's brakes failing, I think it's a pretty cheap insurance to make sure yours don't come apart when they're not supposed to. Another reason I really wanted to get that caliper bracket on before I routed the wires, because this wire clip right here is kind of in the way otherwise. So with the wire clip down and out of the way, the wire out, I could get direct access to the bolt. Somebody zip tied these on here before, so just take it loose. Here's one clip that goes on the brake line. It came off on the wire. Put that back up here. We might still have to do some zip tying. I think the newer Wranglers have a bracket. Let me see if you guys can see where I'm pointing. The newer Wranglers have a bracket right in this area right here that picks up this brake line. That's what there's two push pins on here that hold that together. But the earlier ones, this is a 2009, they do not have that. So I think I'm going to cut those off just to keep the weight down on the wire, or snow doesn't collect on it or something like that. And clip these off. And then we're going to zip tie it closer to the brake line. We'll put it on the far side, the back side, closer to the shock. But we still need to get that plug out. That's tough. The plug back there on the shock tower, it looks just like this, and it's snapped in this way. But I can see these two Christmas tree looking clips. So let me see if I can't push them back that way first, get it loose, where I can hopefully get it to unsnap easier. It's got one of those famous Chrysler red locking tabs on it. Just gotta figure out how the tab needs to go, and there's not a ton of room in here with the wheel well liner in, but I don't really want to take it out just for this job. I mean, I guess it's only a couple of bolts, since I did the modification for the flat fenders. That might make things a little easier. Let's go ahead and get that out of there. We got this one out. You can see even more of that brake. She's pretty well toasted. One of the wires is definitely broken. So now we got all this little slack right now. If you saw, it was easier for me to bring it forward to unclip it just because I could see the clip finally. So I might clip it back that way, put it back over the shock tower, and we'll grab some zip ties to finish this off. Like I said, if I had that bracket like the newer ones, I would just use that, but I don't, because this is an earlier one, so it doesn't have that bracket. We'll grab some zip ties and tie it up so it's out of the way. So what we'll do first is we'll take it, get it lined up the correct way, and we'll push the red locking clip back on so it's back on. Feed the wire up and over the shock. Get the push pins pushed back through the shock tower, and it seems like we're a bit long. Maybe just a touch longer than I'd like to see. This one has corrugated plastic over it. Might steal that and put it on the new one. I do like this style of cutters because it lets you cut the zip tie off really close, and then the chances of you catching your fingers on it in the cold and cutting your hand are very low. Not saying it's impossible, but if you cut them off flush right at the locking mechanism of the zip tie, you're much less likely to catch your hand. So I got the wire tucked up, got it laid out the way it's supposed to go. Got to throw the wheel well liner back in. And then we should be about done with this repair. Alright folks, we're back in the Jeep here. We just got the wire buttoned up. Let's see if the codes go away or not. Alright, so we still got all those codes. Let's see if when we start it, they go away. Okay. So, still got those codes. Let's read the codes. Let's go back. Let's try to clear the code. Sure you want to clear it? I don't know if you guys can see that, but now it looks like the codes are cleared. It says clear trouble codes succeeded. Let's read the codes. So go back to read the codes. I don't see any codes. So let's just go ahead and shut this off. Got the key out. We'll put it back on. Let's see if those codes all go away. Alright, so now it's just the seatbelt. Again, I'm not wearing a seatbelt because I'm in the garage, but looks like we got the code taken care of. It's good to see that a simple fix here. It took just a couple days to get the parts in, but the parts weren't that expensive. I think with shipping and everything it was 20 bucks from Rock Auto. So that's a pretty cheap repair. Do yourself. If you've got a code reader, or even if you go to the auto parts store, you can get them to read the codes for you, and they can suggest possibly the same thing. But if you don't have a code reader yourself, you can just go there, get the codes, and then look up maybe how to fix it. Mine was pretty obvious. It said the ABS circuit open, or circuit problem, so I went there and looked for the wire and found the wire broken, got the replacement part on order, and it was a pretty easy fix. Kind of like the mantra for this channel, you know, get out there, try something new, and don't be afraid to work on your own vehicle. It doesn't cost that much to work on this. I mean, I can't imagine what it would cost at a mechanic, but I'm sure it would be more than $20 in about half an hour of your time to do this. So I think it's worth, if you've got the tools and the space to do it, it's worth doing it yourself. So thanks for watching this episode of CB Rebuilds. Stay tuned. We'll have a new one coming up soon.